Hi friends, Jennifer here with Jen Open Hearts, and I'm excited to bring this little mini series for anybody out there who considers themselves a heart-based helper, healer, guide, intuitive, any sort of intuitive business owners or people who are ready to go from hobby curious into actually making income and sharing their gifts in a way that feels very aligned and supportive. And yeah, I'm just really passionate about this because I've been helping so many different people awaken to their own potential when it comes to sharing their gifts. And there's many things that I'm noticing in many ways that I strive to be supportive. And so in this video today, I'm going to talk about why you feel that your gifts, why your gifts feel not ready and why that's a lie. So this is very common, especially people who are very gifted and very connected to these really mystical and wonderful gifts that are not always celebrated in society. And again, I'm coming back to like the healers, the helpers, the guides, the intuitives, these kind of magical beings that, beings that are necessary to the overall well being of society, I believe. I believe that we all play a role. We're just as important as the doctor, the teacher, the chef, the patrolman, like whatever this position is, we're here to really embody it and to connect with it. And so to me, it feels exciting. But sometimes what we do when we lack confidence is that we can start to, we have these gifts and we can start to almost build a fortress around them where we're like, I need more though. I'm not ready until I take another course or I go on this other retreat or I do XYZ. So we can build this kind of like mechanism of safety where suddenly it's not about sharing this like unique spark that we've been gifted with in this lifetime, but all of a sudden it's about, I need to prove that I'm the best at it. I need to armor myself with like walls of knowledge and then I can share. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. And that should be a huge sigh of relief. A little mantra that I like to connect with a lot is bloom where you're planted. And chances are you already know more than the people that you're going to be guiding, facilitating, supporting. And so it's kind of like the healer's trap. Like I'm not ready till I healed, but you're never going to be fully healed because there's just so much work to do. And so it's like, how do you allow yourself to really see yourself as you are and see that the years of experience, the time that you've taken, the books that you've read, the podcasts, the self-actualization of actually walking the path, right? That's more felt than anything when we walk from a really embodied place, right? You can tell it like, wow, that person's grounded, like I'm feeling it. It feels good. Or they've done their work, or, oh, wow, they're not triggered. Like, this is nice to be around. So I feel like that's kind of like the first and foremost is like that embodiment. So it's like, what is your path, your gift that you're here to share? Are you embodying it? Can you trust yourself? Can you show up around friends and family, strangers and situations and really embody the truth of that gift? And just trust that you're already ready to start blooming, right? Bloom where you're planted. And so what that means to me is like, you're already there. There's already somebody that you can be of service to. And you don't have to have another course. You don't have to go on a special retreat. You don't have to read that stack of books that has been sitting there forever, right? It's like you already have the wisdom that can be supportive. And so just remembering that, like you don't need to hoard information, right? It's almost like if you think about like someone who's overconsumptive with food and maybe they aren't able to go to the bathroom, right? They get constipated with information or constipated with food. And we can do that with information and with our gifts. We can hoard them and say they're all mine, my precious or whatever. And so it's like we have to allow them to be released and given out, because that to me is like the sacred exchange of energy, the sacred exchange of remembering that what I do have is enough. It is enough and it can help somebody. It can be of service. And so I feel like it's such a relief when we remember that and we just play. We don't have to be perfect, right? We don't have to make everything exactly the certain way that this person who's been doing it 20 years is presenting it as, right? It's like however you can put it out into the world is going to be good enough and it will help somebody. And so you can talk about different things like price points and say like, oh, well, if I haven't done it professionally, how can I charge for it? And it's just remembering, like, what about all the time that you spent embodying it? If you're a sound healer, maybe you've spent, thousands of dollars on sound healing instruments, you've practiced for friends, you got different trainings and stuff like that. And so it's like, how do you remember that it's also your energy is your investment, right? Your time is your investment. And that's actually the greatest investment. And so just having that like security, that trust of like, I'm here to serve. And what does that look like? And so we can think about things like, how do we start sharing our gifts and what's an appropriate price level? And I feel it comes with experience. Like if you are a sound healer, you've only done it for friends and maybe family. It's like, what would you want to charge for your first like official sound healing? Like what's appropriate? what, what feels good and what feels aligned for where you're at with your level of experience, and what works well with maybe the yoga studio or the space that you're going to be working in. Can it be donation based, etc.? So it's like just giving yourself a permission slip. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm already prepared. And if I choose to have a monetary exchange, it's kind of like bloom where you're planted again, right? It's like, oh, I'm just starting now. It's okay for me to charge $22 for a sound healing or $33 or whatever it is. And that way it brings in more people. But it's up to you. Like, you know the answer to this and it's your experiment. And I think that's the most fun part, is just remembering that it doesn't have to be so serious. And so if you just equip yourself with that wisdom and that remembering of like, oh, I have this experience, I'm ready to share, it's important, and the right people will start to gravitate towards you. And so I've experienced this in my own way, where many things, lacking confidence, but having so much knowledge and just being like, I'm here to serve. I'm here to help people. Like, why make it so hard? Why make it so crunchy? Why strive for perfection when it's okay for it to be shipped messy? Like, I'm already naturally good at listening to people, at knowing about health and wellness and these different things. So why put such intense pressure? Like, nobody's putting pressure on you. It's you're putting pressure on you. And so it's kind of like just this beautiful permission slip to remember, like, oh, I know how to do this. I'm here to be of service. It's not even about me anymore. It's about all those who will benefit from it. And so it's a lesson in grace. I feel like it's a lesson in love, a lesson in acceptance, right? Like, and a lesson in self-love and self-acceptance. Because you fell in love with it because it made you feel a certain way, right? Like a sound healer does sound healing because they see and they feel what it does somatically to the body, and then all of a sudden they're like, I want to share this with the world. Like, it's so beautiful. It's so helpful. It made me feel good. My nervous system is regulated, and so it's like we're doing it for that core reason, and we want to share it because it just wants to come through us. And so this is your permission slip to remember that this is almost like a lie that you tell yourself, where you're like, my gifts don't feel ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Even though you had like 5 years of experience, 3 years of experience, multiple courses, etc. It's like, it's a lie. It's a lie that you're telling yourself to keep yourself small. And so something that works really well is just creating more safety. More safety in your nervous system, more trust in yourself. What are your thoughts like when you're thinking about your gift, about this quality of self? Is it a thought that feels like uplifting and encouraging, or is it like, doubtful and doom-filled? And can it change, right? Like, we're creating our realities with our thoughts to a degree, I believe. We're co-weaving with universe, God, source, and it's like, what are you thinking about when you like see yourself in that next iteration of self-expressing your gift? Are you imagining people laughing and like, doing this or doing that? Or are you walking and embodying and like trusting that you know what to do, you know how to be of service? It comes natural, right? It's like, why is it that story comes up for you? Because you're trying to build the wall. But if you were the bird, right, the bird's eye view, looking at you with all of your wisdom, all of your time, all your personal experience, all of that self-actualization, all those curiosities that you went down, the hardships, all these different aspects, it's like you would look at yourself and say, wow, like they're really fortified to support people, but they're holding on to it too much, and that they need to start giving it away and to share that gift, because otherwise it's like the bloated, hoarding person who holds on to everything but doesn't give it back. So this is your permission slip. I hope that you start sharing your gifts soon. I hope that you remember that there is somebody who can be of service and who can really truly benefit from what you have to offer. I have a free heart-based template below if you'd like to fill it out. It's something that I give to all my clients whenever we go through a heart-based business activation. But it's just a really nice way to tap into what is offering, who is it for, what's the transformation, how much will it be, where will it be, all the things. And it's really supportive to me as well when I create my own offering. So wishing you a beautiful day, and be on the lookout for more business, intuitive, heart-based activations and insights, because I'm here to help you get started on your path of sharing your gifts. Thank you so much. Bye.